Well, meanwhile, the Arab League foreign ministers have rejected any foreign military intervention to resolve the crisis in Syria. Now, this is part of the issues agreed upon during a meeting also attended by the Russian foreign minister.
We were able to reach stances which include 5 points. The first point is a halt to violence from whichever source this violence may come from. Second of all, setting up an independent framework, a neutral framework. Number 3, no foreign intervention. Number 4, allowing for the humanitarian aid to be delivered to all of the Syrians without any obstacles. Number 5, strong support for the mission of Mr. Kofi Annan in order to launch a political dialogue between the government and the opposition groups.
The meeting was held in Egypt's capital, Cairo. Now, the latest Arab League agreement comes despite its previous efforts against the Syrian government. The organization had previously called for deployment of troops to Syria. Russia warned against any military intervention, stressing that the Syrian crisis must be resolved peacefully. I'm going to switch over to London, joined by our guest from the Syrian Social Club, Mr. Issa Chayr. Thank you so much for being with us. Why do you think we are seeing a different response now, this time around, from countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia in dealing with this position? Why the change?
Well, good evening to you and to your audience. I think it is a very, very positive outcomes have come from today. The international community have realized that the only solution to the Syrian crisis is dialogue and a peaceful means. The Americans have realized, after seeing that there was armed militants supported by external governments were in Syria, and this has actually given a good stance, good evidence to the international community that those armed militants and their approaches was destabilizing Syria and destabilizing the whole infrastructure that Syria has been built on. It is very positive that the international community, and in particular also the Arab League, have actually now seen that the peaceful means is the only way that this crisis could be resolved. One of the major and the main criteria is that the majority of the Syrian people are standing united behind their government and have full confidence in the reforms that the government is proposing. It also, the latest statistics from the people who have attended the reform polls and have voted for the new constitutions, that is a clear evidence that there is a big majority in Syria who stand behind their government. The other thing which also gives confidence to the government is the stance of the army, united behind the government and supporting the government. So all of these have given the international community the views that the government is strong, the people are standing united behind the government, and the army is standing united behind the government.
Do you see, let me just jump in here, Mr. Chayr, do you think that with what happened in Homs, that basically there were a lot of weapons, and also said that a lot of foreign fighters were actually caught by the Syrian government? How important was that in all of this? You're saying that some of these countries now have realized that there were outside entities, but there are many that are charging that some of these same countries are actually some of the same ones that have been involved in trying to prop up the opposition to Syria. So how important do you see the latest events that took place in Homs?
Very, very important. I think the public are the ones who are going to decide about the involvement of foreign governments in destabilizing Syria. And the public, at the end of the day, when they saw and heard that there was external military personnel who were in Syria, they lost faith in their governments and their approaches. Some of the governments are saying our initiative is to support the Syrian people, but what we've seen in Homs, the armed militants, some of the armed militants who were in Homs are from governments in Western governments, and some of them are from have been sent by governments from the Middle East, are not there to support the Syrian people. They are there to kill, to loot, to burn, and to destabilize the whole infrastructure of Syria. Okay. So internally, the Syrian people don't believe on those ones, and the public externally, the international public, have lost faith in the governments who have used rhetoric that they are trying to help the Syrian people while sending militants and supporting armed personnel in Syria to destabilize this whole Syrian infrastructure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We're out of time. So sorry. Thank you so much, Mr. Issa, Chair from the Syrian Social Club in London. Appreciate you being with us.